Alright, boys and girls, once again it's on. I got this gumbo base here started. I took about 1.5 pounds of chicken tenders, cooked them in the air fryer, 5 links of this chicken apple sausage, an onion, a whole red bell pepper, about 1/2 of a large stalk of celery, a couple of dabs of better than bouillon broth, and I actually used a can of Rotel. I love Rotel tomatoes, and about 1/2 of a bag of okra. And I've been cooking this for about an hour. I'm going to start back in a minute and make the roux and show you how to make the roux. I also season this with black pepper, cayenne pepper, a very small amount of curry powder, and just some generic Cajun seasoning. I'll be back in a second to show you how to make the roux. Alright, we're getting ready to make the blind roux here. This is not going to take very long. I am big on induction cookware when making roux or candy or anything that you need to really regulate the temperature on. Worst thing you can do when making a roux is burn it. I don't use butter. Some people do. I use vegetable oil. It's one of the few times I use vegetable oil when cooking. We're going to set this about 190 or so. We're going to get the oil hot. There is 1 cup of vegetable oil in there. And I'm going to add 1 cup of flour, and I'm going to use a metal whisk, and then you just kind of have to babysit this. A blind roux is kind of cool because it doesn't have to cook very long. It doesn't take an hour to make like the darker roux do. I'm going to add the flour, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got the temperature set to about 190. Which should get this oil getting going pretty quick. And this is a 1/3 of a cup measuring cup, so I'm just going to do 1, 2, yeah, that's about 3 cups of flour. Make a little mess, it's kind of fun. White lily flour is the bomb. If you know how to make good biscuits, use this stuff right here. It's really awesome. Put the flour away. And then all you do with this is get a metal whisk and babysit. Stir, stir, stir. Don't let it burn. This probably won't take but about 15 minutes or so to make. Once again, I like using vegetable oil because it tends to soak the flour up a little bit better, and it'll make a nicer roux. And this is going to thicken up your gumbo. Anytime you want to make any type of gumbo or a thick sauce for like a crawfish etouffee, blind roux is like the main ingredient in crawfish etouffee as well. Let's see if we can't get this started and going around. It already looks kind of pretty. Now, the darker you want your roux, you just spend more time with it, and you don't have to do nothing but kind of sit here and babysit this and stir it and babysit it. I'll show you a picture of it in about 15 minutes or so, and that'll be the next part of this little presentation. It darkens up the longer it sits in here. I'm also going to add my last ingredient to the gumbo while the roux is making. Langostino lobster tails. Costco makes these things, sells these things, and they're pretty good. If you want to put any fish or anything in there, you always kind of do it last, because crab, shrimp, lobster tails, and the like tend to shrink up pretty bad. That's a little bit freezer burn, but I don't think it's bad enough that it's going to mess with anything. And I got to multitask here. My roux is really starting to get going, and I definitely don't want to burn the roux. So So I'm stirring the roux with my left hand and getting these lobster tails in here so they can start cooking. And this back burner is just on a low simmer. We'll let that keep going. And let's see, we'll get back over here on the roux, which we are only a couple of minutes into the roux. But I'll keep stirring it. I turned this up to about 275 just for a couple of minutes to get the skillet hot. Now that the skillet's hot and the roux is working. And this is all you got to do is stir and babysit. Be extremely careful if you have children when you're making roux. This stuff is like napalm. It will stick to you and severely burn you, not just a little bit. This is worse than the ramen noodles and stuff like that we get. You do not want to get hot roux on yourself, so be extremely careful. Also note, when you add it into the soup, it tends to bubble a little bit and may splat, so add it very slowly, and that'll greatly reduce your chances of getting burned. We've been cooking this roux for about 3 minutes now. It hasn't started to darken at all, but it has a real nice consistency. There's no lumps or anything like that in it. And butter tends to lump up a little bit more than vegetable oil. I think vegetable oil tends to heat evenly and keep its form and whatnot. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes when this roux darkens up a little bit. Roux's been cooking for about 5 minutes now. I've increased the temperature to 210. I don't want it to boil. I usually won't go higher than 210 at all. I'll come back on every couple of minutes and you can watch it darken over time. Now it's been cooking about 6 minutes. We're going to cook it for about 15 minutes, eyeball it, and we might cook it a little bit longer, but I'm definitely going to use a blonde roux in this gumbo. I'll be back shortly. Alright, we're a couple more minutes into this. I've stirred the gumbo some. I'm continually stirring the roux. We're about 8-9 minutes into cooking it. It hadn't started to boil, so I went ahead and turned the temperature up to 230, and I might turn it up a little bit more. It doesn't bother it to bubble, just a little bit. You just don't want it to stick. I'm going to talk a little bit about this pot too. This pot is Kitchen Craft. They sell these at the fairs and stuff like that. I'm definitely not endorsing them or getting paid for mentioning them. They're a wee bit overpriced, but sometimes you can find these used on eBay for a real good price. There's another company called, I think, Wessex, and it might even be the same company as Kitchen Craft, but these things have been sold for years. And roux making is one of the things where these types of pots and pans really shine, because the bottom of this is about a 1/2 inch thick. It has a ton of steel on it. You can make one of these in an iron skillet just as well. I like this a little bit better than an iron skillet because it heats up a little faster but still consistently keeps its heat. And when you pair this with an induction cooktop, there's no excuse for burning anything because you can cook it at just the right temperature. Also, if you cook food in these and when you're done you put the lid on them, the lid seals in moisture. It's not as good as a pressure cooker, but it will keep your food warm for a very, very long time. So we got about 5 more minutes left on this roux. I'm getting a little impatient. I'm going to turn this up, and we may end up cooking this for a ½ hour before it's over, but I'll check back in with you in just a couple of seconds. Alright, we're a little past the 15-minute mark. I've put another 15 minutes or so on the clock, and I notice some of this is starting to get thick around the edges. This is why you have to stir it a lot. It's definitely starting to change color. It smells a little different as it cooks too. At first it kind of starts smelling kind of nutty or something like that, but it's definitely starting to get a little bit of color to it. And the more you cook this, the darker it's going to get, and the more of a character and flavor it's going to get. I've upped the temperature on this to about 275 and stayed with 275 for the last few minutes. If I quit stirring, it will return back to a boil pretty quick. And it's okay for it to just barely boil, get a little bit of bubbles coming to the surface and everything, but just watch it. If you sit here and look at these videos, you'll notice this stuff will change color before your very eyes, and every couple of minutes it darkens up a little bit more, especially when you stop stirring it and let it heat back up. I usually take a little longer than I need to, and I always cook this at lower temperatures, but if you run this setup here and use vegetable oil, it'll be a lot more forgiving than using butter. If you use butter, it doesn't maintain its consistency in the same way, and you know, you may burn the roux. So just word of caution. And then I'll stir this again, and I will be back with you guys in a few minutes. I'm going to let this thing work for a while. Alright, we're getting close to about the 25-minute mark. I'm purposefully not stirring this. I want to show you the color changing in the pot. You can see little patches are getting darker. We've also about got the gumbo ready. I've stirred everything up, got the heat back on it again. I want it to be a little warm when I add the roux to it. It's going to help it absorb the roux and mix better. This gumbo is going to darken up quite a bit. I'm fixing to stop the roux. We're right at about 25 minutes or so on it. It may be a little bit darker than what I'm used to, and I probably could have quit a few minutes ago, but sometimes I change my mind when I'm cooking. Alright, I'm going to mix this stuff up, and I need both hands, so I'm not going to film it. Be right back. Alright, so the roux is in the gumbo, and it is instantly very thick. I'm going to stir this up a little bit, and sometimes if you make it too thick, you can actually put a little bit more water in it, but I'm not going to do that. I think this is going to do real nice. I'm going to let it sit and finish cooking for a little bit. That is a very nice thick gumbo base. I probably didn't need to use the whole thing of roux, but it looks like it worked out pretty well. I'll be back with the finished product before too long. A little bit darker than I intended, but still it's a nice light colored gumbo. Alright guys, there's a bowl of the finished product. Looks pretty nice. I'm going to put a little filet powder on this when I get done. The okra has started to separate. You might want to add it late, like the same time you add the lobster, if you like your okra to be a little bit more consistent, but I like it to cook into the broth. You notice the broth has a little bit of a green hue in it from the okra. This is really good. If you want the recipe, email me or Facebook message me, and I'll get it to you. And good luck with that in the future. This is a great, easy gumbo to make, and it'll feed a family of hungry people. You guys have a good day and happy quarantine.